Hello B-Bros and welcome to Project Lego. I'm back with another video. This time I'm doing something a little different, showing off a thing that I have actually been working on in a program that I've downloaded called Lego Digital Designer. I ran out of bricks to build anything else really, so I decided to build it on the computer instead and wait until I have enough bricks to build it with what I've got in real life. So this is a tank that I built quite a while ago now, the TOG II. Now this tank is quite famous, particularly in World of Tanks, for being the longest tank in the game. It's also very famous for having an awful lot of health for a tier 6 tank. I think it's 1,400 health, which is quite a lot for just a tier 6 tank. It's armed with the British 17-pounder gun. It's also got very slow speed, as I'm sure you can imagine. Yeah, so this tanking game, you can actually no longer purchase it in-game, which is a bit of a shame, but I believe it was in the range of 2,000 gold when it was actually purchasable. And yeah, so this thing was designed during World War II. I'm not really sure when precisely, but it was designed by a group of people, and their name was a derivative of TOG, because TOG stood for what was it? Oh, that's really going to annoy me now. It was like the old gang, I think it was. Yeah, that was it. It stood for the old gang, which was like the original tank designers who designed the Mark 1 and Mark 2 male and female tank variants during World War 1. Obviously you can see a lot of elements of that in here, the very large, long shape with the big tracks and wide tracks, obviously with a turret instead of the sponsons on the side, and the tracks are covered, so it's not entirely the same. It was developed for trench warfare initially. The armament was going to be placed in the front part of the hull and side sponsons, but as you can see it was modified later to mount a turret, as obviously that was a very outdated thing at the time, probably why it had this odd little door in the side, although that's could just be an entrance point. By 1943, the TOG II was completed and ready for trials. It was already obsolete by that time, of course, and it never entered service. The only TOG that exists is currently at Bovington Tank Museum. I do not believe it's operational, but it's actually got a very interesting camouflage, the only existing TOG. It's obviously not entirely beige. It's got a green, black and beige camouflage, I believe, which you can get something similar to in World of Tanks, which I have purchased. And it had a crew of 6, consisting of a commander, gunner, driver, radio operator and 2 loaders. It had an engine power of 600 horsepower, a speed limit of 14 kilometers an hour. The traverse speed for the tracks was 20 degrees per second, and the turret traversed at 32 degrees per second. Armour-wise, the front of the tank was armoured with 76mm at a slight slope, as you can see here. The sides were also 76mm, so this thing wasn't big on armour, rear being 50mm. However, it is a very big tank, so and in World of Tanks, obviously, armour isn't so much a factor as health is, and this thing's got a lot of that. I'm really hoping it will be added into War Thunder at some point, possibly as a premium. However, I don't really see what tier it will go at, because if you're going to go by the whole tier system compared to World of Tanks, you'd put it at tier 3, because it's tier 6 in World of Tanks, you halve that, it's tier 3, since there's 10 tiers in World of Tanks and 5 in War Thunder. However, because of the fact that War Thunder works with armour more so than health, the TOG is more likely to be placed at around late tier 2, say a battle rating of around 3.0, 3.3 roughly, for arcade at least. And as far as turret armour goes, it had 114 frontal turret armour, 76 on the sides and 53 on the rear. Obviously, like I said before, the OQF 17-pounder gun, the Mark 7 variant, was fitted on this thing. I have to admit the 17-pounder is one of my favourite guns ever. The British version just looks so nice because it's got a very slender, long barrel, and it's got a very nice muzzle brake. It's like a sort of teardrop shape with a couple of small holes in either side that are oval, which just, it looks so elegant, which is a word that you probably wouldn't use to describe a very large cannon usually, but it can hold up to 144 rounds of ammunition, and has 128 to 114 millimeters of penetration on average, and 12 rounds per minute as far as rate of fire goes. And yeah, this is my rendition of the TOG. Now, as far as features go for my version of the TOG, as you can see in here, the gun total. Hang on, how am I going to get this? Nope. Nah, there we go. Nope, that's not the right thing. Hang on. The system for this is a little bit fiddly. There you go. The gun manlet can traverse up and down. As you can see, I've used some hinge joints to connect it in such a way that it can move. When I eventually build this, that'll be very nice to have. And of course, the turret can traverse as well. Use this, it can in fact traverse all the way around, as with the real TOG. As you can see, I've got my little Lego Commander Jingles up here, using the, I believe that's a Star Wars thing, that torso, but it looks pretty good for tank commanders, and this nifty little head I found with a nice little beret. Desert Rats beret. Now, an interesting fact about my TOG design, as you can see, it's got several small wheels, and as you can see, there's 2 rows of them. Now, the advantage of having 2 rows is it means the tracks aren't going to fall off as easily. As you can see, if I delete this plate it's been sitting on, you can see all of the little hinge joints under here. These hinge joints are very useful for connecting wheels, but as you can see, the way it's connected, similar to my Cromwell, it's connected using a sponson. So that way the TOG will actually have, hence why I've given it a little bit more clearance, working suspension, which is going to be absolutely awesome. So this thing will be able to actually have a terrain crossing capability, which will be pretty cool. I'm motioning with my hands. I don't know why I'm doing that, because you can't see my hands. I've also done this nifty little thing on the front with the machine gun, which I think looks pretty nice, using this unusual piece that I found. I actually, in an animation I did absolutely years ago now, I was actually using these as muzzle brakes, muzzle flashes, which is interesting. Although I think now if I was going to make an animation, I'd probably do that with computer-generated muzzle flares. As you can see at the beginning of my intro, I have been doing a little bit of animation. The main problem I've got at the moment with animation, and the reason I haven't actually started doing anything, well, 2 problems. Number 1, lighting. It's very difficult to get all the pictures to be the same colour, and I haven't figured out a way of doing batch colour correction. If anyone has any idea or program recommendations on how to do that, that would be very nice and helpful. And the other problem being I haven't got enough space, because currently I've just moved into my new room, and my desk is coated in Lego, because I haven't really got enough space to put it all away, and I've got a lot of projects I'm working on that I'd like to have out, just so I don't forget them, because I have a tendency to do that. And of course, I'm currently working on them, and I haven't got a single area big enough to make any sort of animation apart from the floor, and it's very, very awkward to record an animation on the floor. So hopefully when I get my room sorted out and everything finally died away and have a bit more space, I'll be able to do some animations. And I'm also going to be working on a very large layout, which is going to go on my desk, which I will be able to use for animations as well. It's going to be a small town under British control that is under attack by German forces, and the first bit of it I'm working on is going to be the outskirts of the town, which is going to be a small um, gravel road with a tree next to it, and I'm going to have possibly a Panzer III or a Stug or something like that going down there with a few German soldiers, and in the background I'm going to have a burning tank of some sort. Not sure what that's going to be yet, and I'm not really sure when I want to set it, because if I'm going to have a Panzer III going down the road, it would be reasonably early war, but at the same time I still want to be able to have like a couple of German heavies like the Tiger 1 or possibly a Panther. And obviously I have a Cromwell already, as you've already seen, and I've got the TOG that I'm eventually going to get around to building, so I'd like to be able to put those on there as well. Obviously I can't put all my tanks on there because that would be a little bit grounded, but I have got a shelf for any tanks I haven't got able to put on there. But yeah, so this has been my Lego TOG. For the next Project Lego video, I'm sorry I haven't been doing many videos recently. I've had a couple of IRL issues that need sorting out. I haven't had the time to sit down and make some videos, but hopefully I'll be restarting my World of Warships soon with Metro Fox 2. Actually, I'm going to be doing a video on the Omaha with him. I'm also hoping to do a video on my newly unlocked Cleveland, which is an awesome ship, and hopefully soon some more videos on World of Tanks, because I'm so close. I'm about 0.2% away from getting a Mark of Excellence on the Churchill Mark 1, and I've just unlocked the Mark 7 and the Firefly, yeah, that's what it's called, along with the AMX something, the light tank, Tier 5 light tank, and oh, what was the other one that I unlocked? I unlocked something else. I can't really remember what it was. But anyway, yeah, so hope to see you guys soon in more videos. Look forward to seeing some animations perhaps, and obviously more Lego videos. Next Lego video is probably going to be on my Lego Black Pearl minifigure minifigure scaled replica, which is going to be very difficult to find a space for because it's absolutely huge. It's currently on my cupboard over there. But anyway guys, I'll see you in the next one.